Hi, I'm Phil Rude, and this is my 100 Days of Making Comics, days 41 through 44. Drew a blank there for a minute. I'm nearing the halfway point, still, closing in on 50 days. Still going strong, still doing 30 minutes a day, pretty easy. But I want to talk about today is the days where it's not so easy, because I had one of those days just yesterday, and it's not fun, and it's not cool, and it is a challenge that presents itself to a lot of us fairly often, I think. I'm not covering real new territory here. I've heard a lot of artists in a lot of artist communities. I've seen this come up. So it's not as though I'm really reinventing the wheel in having this conversation. But I just want to talk about the days that you're in a funk. I'm not talking about the fatigue of a project that goes on, or the fatigue of a challenge where you're like, oh my God, get these 100 days over with, because that's not where I'm at. Just yesterday, I had the funk day. The day where you can't really seem to draw real well, or maybe you're just not really getting a lot of joy from it. It's not coming easily to you. It's maybe a challenge to sit still. That's what it was for me a lot of the day yesterday. On days where I have issue just being in the seat, even if I can manage to make myself sit there, to actually get the work done is another matter. And I do manage to get it done. This video that I am talking over right now is a video I shot yesterday. So I did get my time in yesterday, and a little extra, but nowhere near what I wanted to. It was Sunday. It was a full day off for me. I didn't have to work. I didn't have any other obligations. It's a day I could have really given myself a lot more time to work than I actually did. It was just one of those funky days where, lazy Sunday, everybody's laying around, or everybody's kind of jumping out of their skin, but nobody wants to sit down and focus on a task. And that's kind of where I was. The best thing I can recommend for that is what I did for this video, which was kind of force myself to sit down with no distractions, or something soothing going, some music, and just get the work done. Set a goal for myself. I wanted to get some work done on this page and get it inked in finally. And I did pull out some tools. As you can see, I'm using a crow quill and a brush through a lot of this. I pulled out some tools that sort of force me to pay a little more attention. It's not the same as using a felt tip marker or a micron. You kind of have to be in the moment when you're dragging a brush or a nib across your paper and making sure it goes a certain way. Once in a while, like just the right brush pen will do that. Brush pens, I feel like are a unique challenge for me. So just sort of using whatever tools I have that force me to be in the moment a little bit. That can be helpful. And also, this sounds like I am the man to myself. I'm the boss, I'm cracking down. But honestly, just there's a smidgen of discipline that you have to get this done. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I did a load of work yesterday. I did probably about 45 minutes to an hour total. And that was, a little over my allotted time, but nowhere near what it should have been. But I got done what I could stand to do, and I made myself do it. Other things that you can do that help out with this kind of thing are to get away from the drawing table. Making comics is also like doing the digital side, maybe scanning in some pages that are done. thumbnailing and writing your next batch of pages or your next story arc. There are more things than drawing to making comics. And I know this goes for other aspects of other creative kind of things too, is that you just find something adjacent to it that is not necessarily sitting still. Other things that I do every once in a while, I may go for a walk or I may go out to the yard. I have a tree stump, courtesy of a hurricane that blew through here a couple years ago. I still have a tree stump out there. I take the axe out there. That's honestly a lot of really good outdoor time. Works out a lot of energy. It's kind of a Zen thing, and I get a lot out of that as well. And sometimes that really helps to reset me. Yesterday, I also picked up the guitar for quite a bit of the day yesterday and just kind of noodled around with it. And sort of, that doesn't count as making comics time, but I do count that as creativity time. It's slightly more physical. I don't do the whole stage aerobics where I'm jumping around and leaping off of furniture, but just sort of it engages a different part of my brain and is a little physical. It does, I'm moving my hands around and sort of getting some energy out in a different way. Which is sort of akin to also, if you can, you're having a day where maybe you're not drawing real well. We've all had those days where you sit down, you draw, everything is garbage. You ruin your pencils by inking terribly over them. You can't find your line. We've all had those days, and you just, in the same kind of way that you would say on that day, today's a writing day because I can't seem to draw very well. I can also step away from my desk and just say, I'm going to do something else. I also did a little bit of video work yesterday just for fun. And worked on that a little bit. I edited some of my son's wrestling video together, and do that just kind of for kicks and to practice editing video a little bit. That's about it for today. I have again not had a super productive day on the drawing board, but I have actually gotten a lot of writing done today and thumbnailing. So it's just been that couple of days where it's sort of a break from the drawing board in favor of other creative things that lend themselves to making comics, while still getting my minimum of 30 minutes in. I know that this is a widespread problem for a lot of us, so I am curious, what do you guys do when you're having the funk day, when you're just stuck in it and you cannot find your way out? Do you have a go-to reset button? Or do you just force yourself to sit in the chair and put lines down regardless? Let me know. Drop it in the comments. Also, tell me how you're doing on your 100 Days of Making Comics challenge. I am curious to know. I know there's a big group of you guys who started a couple weeks ahead of me. There's sort of a group effort going forward. And that's a group of artists who is quite a bit ahead of me. I'm curious to know how you guys are doing. I'm seeing some of your videos, but let me know in the comments. Also, any questions about anything I'm talking about? Drop them in the comments and let me know what you're thinking about. Outside of that, you can read The Adventures of Professor Whiskers online webtoon. There's 2 episodes up there, plus what I am working on right now will be up there very soon while I get the next longer storyline ready. Thanks for hanging out and checking in and listening to me ramble about being in the funk today. I will talk to you guys next time.